What is up, guys? Andrew here with Retail Resale. With books being what we mainly do, we wanted to do another video real quick on books. Now, I'll leave a link right up here. It's either going to be up here or over there. YouTube likes to switch things around on me, but that's basically going to be how we merchant fulfill books. So that's going to go through the cost of shipping, what we use to ship, how we ship. That's going to go through everything for you guys. But today what we want to talk about is listing quality. So when it comes to listing quality, when you're doing either FBA or FBM, again, we do mainly merchant fulfilled. So when you're doing merchant fulfilled or when you're doing FBA, when you're doing books in general, listing quality is very important for a multitude of reasons. One being listing quality determines, well, how much you can charge for that book. So you can get a book that's worth $20 used, $200 new. It can be $50 used like new. So that's one of the determining factors on how much you're going to make, is that listing quality. Also, listing quality determines your reviews. So Amazon is extremely strict about their reviews. You have to maintain a certain review rating or certain review ranking. Luckily right now we're at 4.9 stars. We only have 11 reviews, but they're all on books. Now these are books that we've listed as new, books we've listed like new, but we're going to go through all the determining factors today on what you need to look for when you're listing your book quality. So we're going to use paperback is kind of my home territory. She loves to pick through the hardcovers. I love the paperbacks. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with used acceptable, and what does that mean? So we have this guy here, ET. Now we listed this as used acceptable. If you can see the spine here, find the camera, there's issues with the spine right there, obvious bending. You can see there's gapping in the pages, there's discoloration. You can see on the corners of the book here we have flaps. Okay, so even listing used acceptable, you do have to make sure that all the pages are there. And that doesn't take very long. Just basically go through like this. Just make sure that you have your beginning, your end. Generally, your books are going to end with that blank page. And then you'll see your about the author or whatnot. Just make sure that you have your front and back. Make sure you have a complete book. So that's used acceptable. Now going one up, we're looking at used good quality. So this would be what we consider used good quality, and we'll tell you why. There's a little bit of gap right there, but everything looks pretty straight, pretty solid. There's no real damage on the cover. There's a little bit up here. Show you that. You can see just a little bit of damage, but everything looks pretty good. There's no cover damage, nothing like that. There's no writing on any of the pages. One of the things you want to make sure of, a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll see a book, someone took amazing care of their book, so they donated a book that was just in beautiful condition, it looks like new. Someone gets really excited, they list it as new, but what they never did is they never flipped through the pages and make sure that people can highlight or underline something. They can make memos or notes to themselves in certain pages, and this is especially with like self-help books, parenting books, textbooks, things like that. That's what you really want to look out for. So this can easily get away listing as used good quality. So next up we have used very good and used like new. Now I'm going to use the same book to basically demonstrate both of them, and I'll tell you why. We have this right here, and on a side note, anything that mentions religion, really good seller. Basically, we sell more religious books than we do anything else. I don't know why. But as you can see, perfectly straight. This book almost looks new. It is super crisp. But I want to mention this right here. So this was our differentiating factor between listing it between used very good and used like new. If it didn't have these little marks here, we would have listed it as used like new, but because of those, we listed it as used very good. Again, none of the pages are marked. You can see all these pages here are very crisp, very clean. There is no damage or marking going up that spine, except for those right there. And that's going to be what makes it the determining factor between very good and like new. So you do have to be careful, because again, I want to mention those reviews, guys. The reviews are everything. Customer service is Amazon's #1, and that's how they reached, you know, second company on earth to have $1 trillion valuation. They did it with customer service. They did it with people like you and me, paying attention, listing things as used very good instead of used like new, and getting a bunch of bad reviews. So next is, how do you list a book as new? So where you get the book is definitely going to be one of the things that you consider. If you get the book at a thrift store, you really got to be careful. We find a lot of good books, a lot of high rank books, and a lot of books that sell you know, for $10 and up, which is really good for us. That's what we try and have. Real quick, we try and have 20% sell-through rate of our books month to month, and we try and have an average sale of $10 on our book. So $9.98 is really the lowest we'll go on a book. And we'll do another video here when you're going through your repricer, when you're repricing your inventory. Say someone has you down to $7, $6, maybe even $4 on a book. If it's just you and them competing, we see a lot of the times if you pop your price up to $9.98, they'll actually follow you back up, and you can kind of reset your pricing there, so you're not making 10 cents or even losing a couple dollars on a book. So this is what we do as new. There is no cover damage. Pages are secure. You can even still see the glue that's holding that binding there. Everything is just completely crisp. This is a book that has photos, so you check all those photos there, make sure everything is good. There's no marking on any of these pages. Also, guys, you can feel the resistance when you first, if you open the cover, you know, none of these other pages are coming with it. This book probably has not been shuffled through. So, I mean, there's a lot of books you'll see, if you just go and you kind of lift up that cover there, you'll see the binding start to bend. You'll see that it'll pull extra pages with it. Let me see if I can get that here. Okay, so yeah, you can kind of see, well, this one is so old, but generally ones like this, if you start to pull it, it's just going to bring a lot of other pages with it. You want to look for the warp in the pages. So really, when you're listing books, guys, quality is everything. Well, at least the quality that you list it for is everything. And make sure that you're honest about your listings for 2 reasons. Well, more than 2, but 2 main reasons. One, if you list something as used very good and it comes in used acceptable, they're just going to return it. You're going to have to pay for that return shipping unless you risk getting an A through Z claim. Excuse me. So your business is going to go down just with returns alone if you list as the improper quality. Now, I want to touch on this. We don't really do FBA with books, but if you're doing FBA with books, same in turn. If you send them a batch of books used very good, they open it, and as picky as they are, they determine that they're not that quality, they're going to make you do a removal order. If you don't get on the removal order, they're going to hit you with a penalty. You're going to have to wait to get all those books back, and then you're just going to have to either repay for the shipping, repack them, resend them in, wait for Amazon to do its thing, or you're going to have to go the route then of merchant fulfilling your books. So that is the #1 reason is, I mean, that's your business, that's all your money. You can't have all your inventory coming back in returns. Main reason #2 is those reviews. If you get a certain percentage of bad reviews within a certain time span, Amazon will just drop the ban hammer. And it doesn't matter how many sales you're doing for them, how much money you're making for them. It's a penny in the Grand Canyon on the scale of what Amazon is. So if you guys have any other questions about how we do books or any other questions on this video, we're going to be dropping free daily knowledge on you guys as often as we can. I say daily because we want to upload a video every day for you guys, at least on something. We don't spend 12 hours a day out picking or shipping, so we want to take up all of our time as best we can by giving you guys the best knowledge possible. So hit that subscribe button, and if you really want that knowledge coming at you fast, hit that little bell notification down there, and it'll ping you anytime we upload some of this free knowledge for you guys. And as always, leave comments below, anything you'd like to see. We